Hello, and welcome to another session of San Francisco by Night, Hunter the Vigil. When last we left, Group 2 had some tasks set ahead of them. They found out that they are not the only hunter group in San Francisco. It's time to introduce yourself to some of the other hunters of this city. This may go well, it may go poorly. Only time will tell. This will be a good warm-up and calm before the storm, for Group 2 knows that soon they will have to delve down into an abandoned military base, and some of our hunters are not looking forward to that. Our scene now takes us to Section 9's waiting room, a very familiar room that a lot of the hunters are acquainted with, where Abel, Mr. Banks, Peyrun, and Havik are all getting ready to go out and talk first with the hunter society known as the Ashwood Abbey. I will let the players take it away for the break room scene now.
All right.
So you guys are in a lobby? Is the lobby visible from the street?
Well, no. You're gonna run into them when they go to the college. I'll have your thing because you specifically requested a very specific way that you show up, and I will deliver on that.
All right. Peyrun will walk in. He's dressed fairly low-key, modern clothing. Spent fashion to get it. He looks like, not like he's trying to look young, but he looks like, how should I say? He looks like sort of an academic. Basically,
Sure.
I bought fashion too, for this scene. He'll look around at everybody in the place, and just take a look at what they're wearing, what they're bringing. Specifically, he'll turn towards Smoke and Abel and just raise an eyebrow.
If anyone couldn't guess what Abel was going to be, well, not how he was going to dress himself, more like the uniform he was assigned makes him look like the stereotypical high school jock bully. Legitimately. Muscle shirt, college jacket, all the deal.
Except he has no muscles.
You know, gigantic to fit him.
Yep.
I mean,
you'll fit right in San Francisco.
I mean, Havik wouldn't be wearing his helmet. It's a social call or whatever, but it could go bad. But they're in standard affair. Like, he fits in pretty well to modern times, anyways.
All right.
I guess.
Is Mr. Banks
It's
dressed
uncomfortable,
professionally?
I mean, if Abel's rocking the whole jock look, then yes, Nathan would be taking that up to 11. The whole suit jacket, the tie. He's very comfortable looking when he's all cleaned up like this.
All right.
Now, is he wearing aviator glasses? Sunglasses?
Not indoors, no. But they are sitting on his coat pocket.
Right.
Nice.
He is not.
Are they souped up glasses?
I would actually no.
Okay.
His eyes are souped up, but not his glasses.
Okay.
All right.
Eventually, Mr. X comes in, kind of takes his hands, rubs them together, and he's like, "All right, gentlemen, you guys all ready to go? I decided to send some cover fire for you guys in case things get hairy. I hope shooting doesn't start on that college, but I mean, I know the Sons of David probably won't do anything, but I'm skeptical about the Ashwood.
Are we meeting the Sons of David on the college campus as well?
No, the Sons of David you'll go meet at the Second Baptist Church. I've got the address for that as well.
Right then.
I actually spoke with them over the phone. They were very cooperative, so let's hope things go over well. Like I said, the Ashwood is on the college campus. You'll go and meet them probably around the observatory. That tends to be where they keep a lot of their headquarters stuff.
We'll nod
Well-
slowly.
I'm going to hope this only goes half as badly as we think it will.
Always expect the worst. Good man, Mr. Banks. All right. Well, if you're all ready, I'll get the car ready and I'll send you off on your way.
Looks towards as he Perrin will go, all right, then looks towards Abel and go, you're not actually going to be bringing that onto campus, are you? And gestures to the honking big sword.
Well, yes, I am, but I'll just keep it covered, as always.
Actually, Mr. X just seems to kind of realize that would be a problem, and he goes to grab something real quick.
Yeah, I don't think
Since you're
think
since his
throwing
sword-
a sheet over it and saying that it's like a broom or something is going to work out for you, kid.
yeah, he does have an idea though here. Since Abel's sword does not have any hilt or guard, he comes back with an odd-looking kind of surrounding round
Sword.
cylindrical case, and he puts it on the sword. And then he takes a step back, and you all look at it, and Abel's sword now looks like a really large walking stick. And he's like, that'll have to do.
Oh, that
Most of
doesn't
the-
stand out or anything.
Indeed, most of the campus police don't patrol this time of night, so hopefully that won't be a problem. If anyone questions you, just flash them your little tabs, and hopefully the people will back off. We have a lot of people in our pockets, but there's also a lot of people we don't have in our pockets. So let's hope this goes well. Like I said, you'll be being covered.
And who is covering us exactly?
Codename Cyclops. She's one of the best tactical snipers we have. She's also very good at diplomacy.
We'll leave that bridge alone, and hopefully we don't have to cross it at all.
Indeed. Well then, gentlemen, let's get on with it. He hands you the keys to the van that you guys took on the last mission, and you drive on out, interestingly enough with a ground vehicle, out to San Francisco campus, which is very huge, especially in 2077. The campus spans actually about a good 5 miles. Because in San Francisco, they found that when they built one university, rather than just adding onto the area where they are, there wasn't enough room. So they had to build one here, build a building over there, then build a building all the way over here, and then build a building all the way over here. So depending upon what studies you wanted to learn in San Francisco, would be certain areas of San Francisco that you would go. For example, there is the Marine Biology Lab, which is right next to the harbor, but then there's the Biology Lab, which is all the way on the other side of San Francisco, even though they're both San Francisco College. So you get to the main university level, which is where the observatory is, and there's a little bit of a rain, and you guys pull up about a little bit of a block away since parking is very difficult. And you guys all get out and you see the campus kind of in front of you. There's a big gate, but it's open. And you can see the university up on the hill looking out at the stars, and a couple other college buildings here or there. Not too many people walking around. And you guys look over and see almost Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine kind of like van, not the same colors, but kind of a similar setup. And it just goes, and the engine just kind of sputters and starts to smoke.
Mm,
An older woman.
Yes.
that sucks.
Just puts my hand in my head and slowly shakes it, and say, "Please say that's not Cyclops."
That
An
is
older
not
woman
Cyclops.
An older woman gets out of the van. She comes around to the front. It's clearly smoking. There's a green fluid dripping out of the front. She gets underneath and she holds her finger under it and tastes the fluid. And then she just collapses her head on the top of the van and begins to weep. Just like a hideous, terrible weeping. Like the weepings of a war widow who just found out that her husband was killed. It's a terrible sight to see. She's wearing a weird mix of flannel, jeans, and clearly some sort of leather that doesn't quite look like it was manufactured by a major company. Like maybe it was animals she perhaps hunted herself. She just slides down the front of the van and just sits and just sort of idly toys with her rifle, which isn't a known type of rifle. It's more assembled from parts of other rifles and various bits and features. Don't this just beat all?
You hear in your ear, Peyrune. Yeah, she's got a weapon. What's going on here?
I'm going to tap my ear and then go, "Cyclops, I presume?"
Yeah, this is me.
I don't know yet. I'm going to go find out. And Perrin will stroll over there, standing tall, his gait confident as he walks over. He'll give a friendly little smile as he walks up and goes, "Howdy, ma'am. Everything all right?"
Well, no, I was hoping this would get me up to Portland, but it looks like it's just going to end here. My name's Sprints. Sprints McCoy. You know any shops around here that can work on a 1989 Aerostar on 2 donut tires?
Peyrune, roll me an intelligence streetwise.
All right.
And tell me what you get.
God, Perrin's not great at the whole intelligent thing. He's as streetwise as okay. I got 4 successes.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of places that'll do cars that old, but there are a couple shops that will do antique stuff like that. Sadly, they are kind of all the way on the other end of San Francisco right now.
Well, I'm not so sure about any mechanics, but there are some restoration places. Fortunately, you seem to be on the wrong side of town, miss, for them. However, I could probably give you a card if you can wrangle yourself up a tow truck. If you go to Susie's Restoration and ask for Bert, and tell him I sent you, you probably could get a good deal.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to do with things. I suppose San Francisco is just about as good a place as anything. What's there to do? What brings you to the college? I was just going to cut up I-5, but I got lost somewhere off the Embarcadero, or what's left of it.
Indeed, a lot of the ground highway has been roaded away. A lot of people use flying cars nowadays. However, there is still magically, somehow, a road that does connect San Francisco to Arizona, somehow.
Well, this San Francisco is like any other big city. There's lots to do. Lots of jobs, lots of little things. Really depends on what type of work you're looking for. Though, a little suggestion. I wouldn't be going around waving a rifle out here right in front of a center of learning, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. She kind of slides it into her long flannel and leather hybrid coat. Sorry. The thing is, I'm not super good at city work. I can shoot, and I have a little bit of skill when it comes to sick animals, sick people, things of that. But there's not a whole lot I can computers and whatnot. I'm not from anywhere but the hills.
Well, this has Nathan's interest piqued, at least a little bit. He won't get close enough really to interrupt the conversation, but he's trying to get close enough to see if he can get some kind of a something or other. Actually, without a name, I suppose looking up doing a web search isn't gonna really pull up
She
much.
gave
huh?
her name.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, Spence McCoy. There probably wouldn't be
All
a
right.
lot on you. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe Social
Spence,
Security.
if someone did a web search, what would they see on you?
Social Security, never held a job in her life. Maybe a birth certificate, but not much else. Perhaps some minor interactions with the law. But, maybe a vague.
Interesting. Nathan, according to your search, it's saying she died about 2 years ago.
Okay, I mean, that's only a little odd. It could have been someone by the same name, maybe.
Perhaps. You don't know. You know about 4 or 5 people with that name that you're all looking up, and 3 of them are residents here in San Francisco, but are from the ages 21 to 40. The other 2 are ages 56 and whatever Spence's age is, and one of them is officially been dead for 2 years.
All right, this is odd. And the other bit is only making it more odd.
Why were you heading to Portland? If I may ask.
I hear there's still some work in the mills. There's a lot of lumber. We did do a lot.
Indeed.
We were just outside of Lancaster County, back when the Amish were there. We did have a little bit of mill. We didn't make much money off it. Sometimes I thought they might be safe. We'd load the lumber down to their trucks, and then they'd drive it off and drop off some of the goods we needed: flour, salt, water purification.
Creed, this will perk your interest. Roll me a wits and intelligence. I know this is an odd roll, but wits intelligence, please.
Oh, God. Why'd you do these things to me?
Attribute challenges. Oh boy.
Why can't it be presence plus manipulation? One success.
One success. That does actually strike you as a bit odd because the Amish society in the East Coast in the cyberpunk era has kind of all but been pushed way back into the foothills due to expansion, and they've been out of contact for almost 5 years now. No one knows if the Amish community out there is still up or running. However, you do know that she is correct about the mills in up north. It's actually one of the only lumber places still left that's currently monitoring, since everyone's trying to watch their harvest of a lot of the trees. However, due to this, the inlands of the United States the forestry areas in the inlands have grown massive compared to what they used to be, since there's only one official operating lumber yard on the West Coast and only 2 on the East Coast now.
All right. So she was cutting out for me when she was speaking. What exactly did I find odd about what she said?
The Amish community was gone. It's been out of contact for 5 years.
Yeah. And she said she was in contact with it?
Yes.
Raises an eyebrow slightly at this and goes, Aren't the Amish? Haven't the Amish gone insular recently? I could have sworn that no one's heard from them.
You'll hear from them if you know where to look, hon. They went a little off the books. The Amish have always been a little off the books. I mean, they're not too fond of taxes, and they're not too fond of the government. Lately, they've had some, they've adopted some technologies they didn't used to use in the olden days. You hear my grandpa. Back then, it was just horses and buggies and very low tech stuff, and it's still like that. But occasionally they do some stuff that we ain't ever seen before. I mean, we're just as rural as they are, but maybe in a different way. If you know what I'm saying.
What kind of stuff do they do that you've never seen before?
Sometimes we don't see them coming like we used to. We used to. We always had scouts watching the passes. Be they just hunters up in the blinds or some of the various ways that we used to track people, because we didn't take too kindly to people coming up. We wanted to know who they were, and if they weren't friendly, like we'd disappear. But lately, before they came for us, not the Amish, mind. We don't know who it was, but they would just appear out of seemingly nowhere, a couple miles down the road from our camp, getting past our younger brethren down the mountainside. We're not exactly sure what they were doing, but it's not the old Amish. The Amish are, let's say, they've adapted to the times.
Perrin's going to rub his chin and go, "Where exactly did you say you were from, my bats?"
Just outside of Lancaster County, the hill country of Pennsylvania, Appalachian chains.
Bit far away from there.
So you're telling me that was quite the trip. I almost even think Bessie didn't make it. I'm surprised she made it to San Francisco. She rubs the hood of the Aerostar in a loving, almost matron.
I would imagine Havoc's more concerned about what's around, like looking for anything weird or inconsistent for college.
Roll me a wits plus composure.
Is there
All right.
is there any cover about?
There is her vehicle. There is your vehicle. There are some, a couple garbage like big garbage cans over by somewhere where the buildings are. And then once you guys get over towards the buildings, there's a bit more cover. But right now, that's about all you're looking at.
All right, Nathan's gonna stroll over to the car like he forgot something. And by the time he gets to the other side, he will inhale, he will not exhale, and then vanish.
So you're going invis? Okay.
And he's going to continue walking his little circle around to the clunker, and he's going to see what he can see through the windows.
All right. What does he see in there?
I have an ability that's biosense. Can I attempt to use that? That was, you remember the link that I sent you yesterday?
Yes. Roll me a wits plus composure. Nathan, roll me a stealth.
I got 2 successes, by the way.
Okay, Avik, I'll get to you in a sec.
Okay.
Stealth and what?
Dex stealth.
Oh, this would be a supernatural ability?
Yes.
Would that be resisted with...
It is just a perception.
Oh, fair enough.
Let's just have it be a stealth versus a perception check. That'll make it easy. He has the ability to try and see you even though you're invisible, but it'll be perception versus stealth basically. So Spence, you're going to roll a wits plus composure.
Okay, that's
Actually shocked I did as well as I did. That's not a very good. I don't have a lot of stealth.
Just tell me how many hits you guys get.
Nathan got
So my
2.
dice rolling is pretty good. I don't know how to do the fancy character rolls. So
Slash roll space 6010. Very similar to how we do it on Discord in New Orleans.
Well, that's 2, assuming they don't reroll the 10.
You do re-roll the 10.
it's bugging out on me. I can't see the bottom of what I just rolled. I got 110 and then 10, a 6. Can somebody see that? It's like the
Yeah,
the bottom.
eights. Yeah, 8s and higher are successes in New Wad. 1s do
10.
not subtract.
10, 4, 9, 4, 6, and a 6. So just reroll one more for the 10.
Right, so re-roll, because I think you both tied.
Yeah, we're tied now.
Right. So re-roll the 10, see if he gets... So just re-roll 1d10 and see if you get another success.
Guess not.
Okay. So you both tied. In New Wad, I believe ties go to defenders. So I will say that Spence, you get like that tickling sensation on the back of your neck, but you don't see anything.
Okay.
You don't manage to sense anything there.
That's it.
And what does he see in your van?
Pelts, bedding, a bunch of food, but it's not like the typical food that you might be used to living in San Francisco. It's like, burlap bags of like stolen corn and grain, some meat in jars, pickles. It's clear that she's probably been stealing. But it's not. She has enough ingredients to actually probably make a relatively decent meal out of things. It's clear that she's very much in survival. But there's nothing of value. There's nothing untowards. There's no explosives. There's no weaponry outside of the clearly carried ham-fisted something homemade rifle.
Nathan is he's confused. Like this is a really weird coincidence as far as he's concerned that they came out here for this thing, and now some random woman has broken down, and apparently she's from out of town.
Broken down and mostly
out of town.
vehicular.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Never mind.
She says broken down in vehicular. Havik, as you're looking around, you can see a couple students, or at least a couple, come from the observatory, and one of them stands up on the hill and kind of looks down at you guys with what looks like binoculars, and then kind of walks away a little bit.
Havoc would point that out to our friend Abel. Someone was watching us, or they looked at us with binoculars.
Oh, up there?
Yeah, I'll point there. Well, I won't point there, but I'll look there.
Should I go get him?
Probably not.
I might.
But we can go over there.
Well,
If I notice those two talking, it'll remind Perrin that they did come here for a job. And
The microphone on your ear pipes up, and you can hear Mr. X's voice. And your phone rings, and it's Mr. X's voice.
Yeah.
And it says, "Would you mind putting the old lady on?"
Are you serious?
We're doing a little biometric scan of her right now, and we're seeing some interesting results. You might want to back up a bit, Perun. You don't want to be too close to her.
Takes a step backwards as if to go take this call and goes, "Why?"
Well, as you know, we have a many variety of individuals who work for us. And there is a particular type of people that we've been looking at. We've dubbed them psychic vampires. If
And
you
what
if you are near
makes
if you are near a psychic vampire that does not have proper control, much like the vampires of lore, rather than your blood being taken, your psychic essence might be drained. We need to make sure that she can control herself and has permission to walk around these parts. If she just wanders freely, she could wind up accidentally killing someone and making a lot of trouble for us.
size?
I would like you to put her on. If we can get her into the Section 9, that would be pretty nice. If we can't, well, let us worry about that, Perun. You have another job to do. We'll take
Right.
care of that.
Perrin will shake his head slowly and then walk back towards the others. As he does so, he'll pull out a piece of paper, a pad of paper, and he'll go, "Well, as much as I hate, as sorry as I am for, sorry, let me rephrase this." He'll walk up and go, "Oh, sorry to hear about your predicament, ma'am, but I'm not sure what we can do to help." Then he pauses for a second, thinks before scribbling down a number, an address, and phone number, and goes, "There's you know what? I might have something for you. Go to this address and ask for one Mr. X. He may be able to get you a job."
What sort of job are you talking? Like, I don't hook. I'm not one of those girls.
He tends to be more interested in folks with experience in hunting.
That I can do. That I can do. You see that squirrel over there? I bet you I can take that.
God.
No. We don't need to have firearms going off in the college campus. Last thing we need is police swarming.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't quite understand your ways. You know, I mean, I went through some big cities before. I was through Toledo, Omaha.
I'm gonna start
Shakes his head
going.
and goes, "Well," he'll hand you a small flip phone, and he'll say, "There's a number on it that you can reach if you have any questions."
She looks at the flip phone like you just handed her one of the crown jewels.
He'll nod to her and goes, "Right, we've got to unfortunately wrap things up." Looks around. Has anyone seen Mr. Banks?
We kind of like step up from behind the car again. Yep, got it. Almost forgot my glasses. Puts on the aviators.
Right.
Well, there you are.
And the group will start heading up. He'll bid Miss Hillbilly McCoy adieu before he starts heading up
Alrighty.
towards.
All right, so Miss McCoy will probably head on over to Section 9, and you guys will head up to the observatory.
She takes a couple steps away and she goes off to say, "Thank you guys for all your help. I really appreciate it. You definitely didn't have to do that. You know, it's rare to find strangers that'll take kindness upon one such as myself. But I want you to know that if you ever need anything, you can call me on." And she looks at the crown jewel in her hand, and she says, "This thing." And she walks off.
That lady talks
Nice.
a lot.
As she leaves, Perrin will mutter towards Mr. Banks, who he's probably walking in tow with. Mr. X called. He said he was able to scan her. She's apparently something called a psychic vampire. It's concerning. What concerns me, however, more is how the hell was he able to scan her from that distance?
Well,
I guess I'm
As-
going to
as-
inform
as-
everyone else
uh,
that we're being watched. Just but
Yeah, Havok, you inform everyone, and you as you're speaking, Peyrune, the communicator
Okay,
in
just
your ear
making
comes.
sure.
The communicator in your ear comes on again, and Mr. X says, "Because I've got a drone in the sky watching you."
I was about to say we have a couple of different answers to that.
You can hear Mr. X kind of giggling on the other end of the line.
Well, we had a job. We have people to talk to. What had you so flustered there, Havok?
Someone was watching us with binoculars, and that's just a weird thing to do on a campus to a very specific set of people. I don't like it. I don't know, but I don't like being watched. It's kind of creepy.
Bother you? They could have been watching birds. They could have been looking at planes or clouds. Or
Looks at him
Mm,
and raises an eyebrow. Strange time to be bird watching. Well, I suppose if there's elves in the area. But doesn't that seem so a bit far-fetched?
they were on a hill. They were looking down at us. Like,
And it's the middle of the night.
uh-huh.
okay,
But I think we're
somehow I missed how late in the day it was.
It's pretty late. It's like around 7 or 8 o'clock.
Okay,
They definitely
fine.
watched
Maybe
for that
they were
guy
off
win.
looking. Maybe
I mean,
they
you
were
guys
off
didn't wanna
looking
go
at
when
city
all-
lights or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys didn't want to go when all the classes were going.
That'd be weird.
Regardless, that's the direction we're heading anyway. If you're so worried about it, we can go talk to them.
Uh-huh. I mean, why wouldn't you be worried about it?
All right, so you guys head on up to the observatory. You walk up the little hill, little driveway hill up to it. You don't really notice anyone looking at you out of the moment. If you guys all want to make int investigation or wits perception checks, you may, and you can tell me how many hits you get. If someone gets at least 4 hits, this will give something.
You said what's perception?
Intelligence investigation.
It's either wits perception or intelligence investigation.
wits perception. He means wits composure.
Wits composure. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I got 4 successes.
Woo!
Let's see.
I got none.
I got 3.
Have Smoke. Would you like to make that a critical failure?
You know what?
Sure.
I'll amuse Smoke since he hasn't been playing a bit. He needs some beats. Smoke, that's a critical failure. You trip and fall on your face. You see nothing but the ground.
I'm gonna lay there for a while.
Yeah. The floor is made of floor.
Hey guys, there's a floor here. Abel, you notice birds. There's a couple birds in one of the trees that kind of start to fly away even in the rain, but other than that, nothing out of the ordinary. However,
10.
Creed,
8 again. 0. How? How
wow,
is that possible?
wow. Do you want to make that a critical failure, Nate, just because that's pretty bad?
I don't need luck. It's useless.
I am so sorry. I don't even understand.
I did not hear what he said.
It's okay, Havoc. You got a beat for that. Don't worry about it.
The-
So Creed,
Great.
on the other hand,
I will say that yesterday I rolled 4 ones in a row, so
it's all right.
having terrible luck.
Mr. Payroon or Creed, you notice that there seems to be the glint of a sniper scope coming from the top of the observatory, looking down at you, and you know it is because you've seen it before. You have enough sniper skill to notice that.
I'll just cockily look up and wave at the sniper. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
calling your bullshit.
Okay. Okay. You guys continue to go up to the observatory,
What are you
and
gonna
the front
do? Shoot me?
and the front. There's a big metal front door on the observatory area, and it looks like one of those classic club doors, you know, where like there's the eye slot and it slides.
All right.
You guys all come up to the door, and it's just a door with a little voice pad next to it.
Was I given a name to ask for?
Yeah, ask for Abigail.
All right. I am going to hit the voice panel then.
Who is it?
My name is Baron. I'm here to see one Miss Abigail.
Right. Just a second. Voice box goes out. You see one of the eye slots open at the top, and then you see a slot open at the bottom, and a shotgun immediately comes out and points at you guys. It's like, name and business here.
I've already said my name. Perrin.
Say it
And
again.
here- My name is Perrin, and I'm here to see Mrs. Abigail.
Right, just a moment. And you can hear some sort of device being used in the back. Scan him. Clean. Clean. Clean.
Yeah, I'm just
Clean.
gonna
All right. Come on in, hands where we can see him. Don't try any funny moves. People here are jumpy tonight.
Holds out his hands up in the air and goes, my, what warm welcome for fellow professionals.
Gotta take precautions where you can take them. Door unlocks and goes green and then opens up.
Steps in.
You open up into a very large observatory with like a big telescope and everything and a couple walkways leading up. Turns out the observatory is actually quite large. It actually goes down and up. There appears to be a basement level and the main floor. And when you walk in, you can see two men, two fairly young men in kind of black uniforms with a weird kind of crow on their shoulder. For those of you who study Hunter lore, it's the Ashwood Abbey symbol. And there's a woman sitting, kind of leaning against one of the pillars in kind of this black dress, and she's, kind of got her arms folded, and she looks up and she's like, you must be the Section 9 peeps. Welcome to the San Francisco. Welcome to the San Francisco Ashwood Abbey.
And
What can
you
we
must
do for
be
you tonight?
Abigail.
Indeed, I am. Pleasure to meet you. She has. She looks like she's in, just about hitting 30. Got long black hair, very deep eyes. She looks fairly athletic, and she almost has a little bit of a starry, wild-eyed look to her face.
All right. Well, first and foremost, we at Section 9 figured introductions were at order. Associations were needed. Acquaintances were needed to be made, given your newly arrived status within the city.
Well, that's nice of you. We talked with Mr. X on the phone. Normally, this kind of thing doesn't happen, but times are changing. Probably be best to combine heads and whatnot. Don't even get me started on those Task Force Valkyrie creeps.
Does not give away anything about him not knowing who they're talking about.
We actually have a couple other hunter societies that might be coming on the outskirts there since those disappearances started happening up there. I mean, hell, the American Society of Hunters just opened up a new establishment outside of Yellowstone because they think that werewolves are coming out there. Then we got the Abbey here, we got the Sons of David down the block, and now we got you guys coming in. And God knows Task Force Valkyries probably got their hands somewhere in this city.
Oh, we've been here, I believe, for quite some time.
Well, that's good to hear. Perhaps we can actually finally combine some resources and get some shit done. So how's the supernatural scene been? We kind of just got here and set up shop.
It's been strange. We've been having several disappearances. We've been having problems. We're believing that we have like in all major cities, a vampire infestation.
Right. I imagine we had a vampire problem. We know that much, and we know that Power Core is probably associated with them. What we don't know is that what's with all the disappearances going on in the mountains. It's been pretty quiet for a while. There's a new mining operation for some of the valuable material up there, but there's that ghost town up nearby. A lot of tourists been going out there and disappearing. You know anything about that?
Not yet. However, I'm led to understand that my superiors are looking into it.
Good. She starts to rub her hands together. If there's werewolves out there, it's time to get some payback on those fucking beasts.
Or it
Hope
could
you-
just be hiking accidents.
There's one thing I know. A lot of the inland creatures don't come near a lot of the tourist areas anymore. It's definitely something's up. Believe me. And between you and me, one of the victims that the police very so conveniently shoved under the rug was found torn to shreds. Now, I'm sorry, but there aren't too many things up there in the wild that'll do that, at least into that extent. I barely even got to see the reports, and that's with the contacts we have. We don't have a lot of foothold here, and we can't make a lot of influence. But we're working on it.
Nathan doesn't even blink. Bears.
She pulls out her digital phone and she shows you a picture of a corpse.
A mauled corpse.
Oh yeah, and it's
I'm not
It's-
trying to say you're wrong. I'm just saying if we're going to be doing this, we just have to rule everything else out.
of course, but we think it's werewolves. Nonetheless, I hope you all have silver ammunition somewhere.
Kind of looking
Does
at
not
That's all I got.
Abel just kind of rubs the back of his head.
keeps a completely neutral face during all of this. Not letting on he has no idea about werewolves or all this supernatural mumbo jumbo. He was just here to make sure she would share information, and that's what he's going to do. Well, understandable. And I'm glad that we're getting off to such a pleasant start. However, I'm going to have to address the elephant in the room. My superiors are concerned with your recent appearance. After all, last time folks heard from the Abbey, things weren't exactly hunky-dory,
See-
if you know what I mean.
See, do you see, Boris? You see what I told you? As she looks over to one of the other guards. You see what I told you? There was going to be a but. Let's hear it.
But we just want to know that you're not going to be doing the same reckless actions as your predecessors.
Look, my predecessors were idiots. And I know that some of our factions on the East Coast are still idiots. But I do things smartly here. But I need to get the job done. Sometimes that does mean going loud. However, I assure you that I'm not going to be going loud very often out here. But the job needs to get done. But I am not going to make a scene of it. Because when you make a scene of it, the vampires see you, and then that's bad.
I completely agree.
Right. So we'll keep mostly quiet here. We'll do some one black bag ops here or there, but we're not going to go real loud unless we have to. None of that. We'll stay out of your way if you don't get in our way. So call it good.
Out of character, was there anything else Mr. X wanted to know?
Other than establishing hunting territories, which you guys can easily talk out, and you don't even need to really discuss that. They'll mostly just say college campus, ours. Central Park, ours. Everything else, yours.
All right. And once he gets down to the business, all the business, that's when the flirting begins.
Okay. Roll me a presence socialize, I think.
Does Mr. X is so able to pick up Heron and go?
Mr. X, actually, Mr. X just goes, huh, excellent strategy.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Roll and resolve.
Okay, let me see what she gets. Three hits. She kind of looks at you, and
Actually, hold up.
It's
Hold up. Before we go on, I forgot 2 things. Or I forgot
Okay.
a bunch of things. Because I need to roll my equipment bonus. Plus my striking looks.
What is this?
Plus my animal magnetism.
Uh-huh. Now I'm gonna go home. Just kidding.
So that's 6 more dice.
roll it.
And that was wrong. Completely wrong roll. Ignore that.
6.
There. And 1 more roll because of that. 1 more roll because of that. All right, so that's 1, 2,
Jesus.
3, 4. 4 more successes. Exceptional
Okay, yeah.
success.
Yeah, she is definitely. It's not like I don't just have people unless you're using.
know.
Are you using awe
No,
or anything?
I'm not
supernatural?
using magic.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Okay,
basically I'm trying to leave her with a very good impression of me.
right. You leave her with an excellent impression.
All right.
And she says, "Do you guys want to have a beer downstairs, or do you just want to head out?" Let me guess. You're probably gonna go talk with the Sons after this, I assume.
I could go for a beer.
Guys are welcome to stay for a beer if you want. She kind of looks over at Abel, and then she looks up at Abel, and then looks up at Smoke, and she's kind of like, "These guys your bodyguards? These guys look like they could scrap."
Well, something like that.
Havoc doesn't
Uh-huh.
respond. Just
Oh,
kinda
big fellas, both of you big fellas, just watch the low bridge as we go downstairs.
Hey,
Could
I'll be right
Nathan-
back real quick, guys.
Could Nathan get away with smoking in here?
She looks at him and nods.
Well, he lights up. They're not his bodyguards. I'm his bodyguard.
Yeah, you look like one of the Men in Black types. No offense. Figured
None
as
ta-
much. Well, come on down, sit down, have a beer, help yourself to the food, and consider this a welcome invitation to be working together for future reference.
Abel looks
And he
familiar.
goes-
No, go ahead.
She kind of looks at all you guys and says, "Be careful when talking to those Sons fellas. They're legit hunters. They're legit for the cause, but they're kind of weird. I don't know. I think they're delving into some black magic there. Kind of doesn't. I don't want to go in that territory, but
They sound
I've always-
preachy to me.
Haven't really
They-
met him, but
Oh yeah, they're very preachy. They're not forceful preachy, but they're preachy. I've always preferred hardware myself.
Abel says, "Well, actually, I was most interested in being them. No offense."
Oh no, they get the job done. They don't force their religion on you, but man, they preach. It's kind of part of their power, I think. I think it's something they have on the supernatural. It's weird. Seems like their faith gives them power somehow.
Abel is just looks more interested. I
Small
see.
group. Apparently, they started in Rome.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of them. They're weird sects. Some of them follow the Catholic Christian gods. Some of them follow the Roman gods. We even got a couple in there following Norse and Greek gods. They're a weird society, but they get the job done. Like I said, they're just weird. You'll see what I mean when you see them. You get this weird feeling when you talk to them.
I see.
Never big on religion, really.
Well, Abel like reaches
Mm.
into his jacket, pulls out like a small black book for a moment, and puts it back. Wonder how they'll read this.
She kind of looks at you and goes, She looks over at Smoke, or sorry, Havoc, and she's like, hey, didn't I see you at the park when that whole incident happened? Coffee shop exploding? I think I remember seeing you there.
Sure.
Uh-huh. Well, that at least explains why some of you guys might have been over there. So, tell me, did you get the freaking mudsucker?
More or less.
In a word, yes.
Very nice. Very nice. I take it one of you catapulted that motherfucker off the roof?
I'm just gonna point
All
at
right,
that.
back.
button.
Sorry, what did I miss?
I didn't mean to, but yes.
No, that was good work. Very good work. It was entertaining. I was getting ready to head on up to the roof and shoot him myself, and then I see the fucker go flying. And I'm like, well, that'll take care of him.
Mostly I was trying to get him away from my associate.
I see. Wow. Well done. You all did a good job. Monsters like that don't belong here. Nonetheless, sit down, help yourself to food, have a beer, and then you can go talk to the Suns. We'll escort you out of here.
It felt like it was too sloppy to me, but all's well that ends well.
Sometimes sloppy is good.
Of course, you'd say that.
Like I said, sometimes it just matters whether or not you get the job done or not.
Why do people eat sloppy joes?
Exactly. Yeah, sloppy joes is delicious. You guys all sit down, kind of drink, hang out a bit, and you guys can either talk about more stuff or you guys can head out whenever you please.
So, did I miss anything important?
She mentioned the gum incident at the coffee shop and how she was there and saw the guy go flying off the roof when Nathan showed us that he actually participated in the previous Mortal Kombat tournament.
Ah,
So,
Yep.
does anyone have any questions for her? Bueller?
particularly.
Bueller?
all right, we're
Do I
good.
detect any ghouls? I mean, super drugs.
Actually, yes. Havoc, she has some. The guards with guns have some, and there's a couple other members that have some. Yeah, and this whole thing is literally like a big college frat boy, frat girl kind of setup. But they're all hunters. So you kind of get the idea. For those of you who know anything about the Ashwood Abbey, it's just very stereotypical Ashwood Abbey. Except they do seem to be a bit more restrained. And she does seem to have a good head on her shoulders, but they are still, very... shall we say, like, let's go hunt. Well, you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Havik, you do pick up on a couple of the other. There are some people there who have not only probably drinking vampire blood to get more powerful, but have also probably taken some of the serum that has been going around, and some of them do have augmentations.
All right.
But
I
no
guess I'll
stat.
keep that to myself.
Was running into more static would be a little bit much for Nathan today. One time was enough.
Oh boy.
So you guys all pack up and head to the Sons of David Church.
Okay.
So you head on out a couple blocks away. There is a massive old church building. It's very reminiscent for those of you who have seen a lot of the old structures of the old cathedrals that are still built in some of the big cities. This one looks very old, like it's one of the original structure buildings of San Francisco. And it's almost more like the Notre Dame Cathedral than it is an actual church. And you go up to the two big, massive wooden doors with some very large knockers on them. Snicker, snicker, ha ha ha.
Okay. Gross.
So, who wants to knock?
I can knock, I guess.
Yeah, if no one steps up, Abel will.
All right, I'll just say both Smoke and Abel, or Havik and Abel, walk up and ksh, ksh.
That was fun.
The door slowly opens. And you see a man in a red priest robe with gold trimmings look up at all of you with his hands kind of folded in his robes in front. And he says, "Ah, yes. Those of Section 9, come on in. Welcome."
I'll step forwards.
Okay.
As like Abel walks in, he's like, "How did he recognize us?"
Indeed.
Well, to be fair, we're a bit of an eclectic lot.
Two massive guys looking like they're about ready to wreck shit. One guy who looks like a black bag secret agent, and then the other guy who looks like he's ready to party. Kind of a hard sight to miss.
Yeah.
I'll stroll on up and hold out my hand.
He shakes your hand. "Welcome, my son, to the Sons of David.
Baron
This is always-
Voltrix.
And Voltrix, good to meet you. And your associates?"
We'll gesture around. If they don't introduce themselves, I'll introduce them.
When Abel points, he goes, "Oh, well, I am Abel."
Kind of raises an eyebrow, and then he looks at you, Abel, and he's like, "Very interesting name. Not many choose the names of old anymore."
No,
I don't know. I know quite a few Joshuas.
Indeed. And I also know a few Davids as well. He chuckles and smiles. And
Yes.
you swear his eyes are not glowing in the dark, but they're very close to.
God damn it. Are any of the hunter groups actually just normal hunters?
Mm. Task
I'm
Force
just
Valkyrie.
gonna-
Abby would be, for sure.
Most of the Abbey, they're normal hunters. It's cyberpunk, so they're all augmented and they've got serums and shit like that.
I mean, we
Abby's-
showed up and they shoved a shotgun in our face. That's about as
Yeah.
basic as it gets. What you gonna do?
The Sons of for anyone who wants to learn anything about the Sons of David, does anyone here have occult 3 or like at least occult 3.
Aye, Captain.
Abel has
Uh,
occult 3 with specialty in biblical.
Right. So Abel and Perun, give me a.
I've got 3 too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Anyone who's got 3, give me an int occult.
And druid vision.
Nobody's in. No one wants to be smart, I guess.
No one's intelligent.
There we go. We're getting 2s.
Look,
This is
this
gonna be bad. Oh wait, I shouldn't have 8 again.
Yeah, Nathan only has the 1.
this isn't the smart group.
This is the shoot first, shoot again, and then if everyone asks questions, then continue shooting.
Hey,
Why did you
Nathan,
roll
that's
composure?
in academics. You take that back.
It rolled composure, not my occult. Great.
I
Alright.
rolled with
the
8
extra-
and
Rolling. 0 successes. Critical failure again. I quit. This game is done. I'm just gonna.
Wait, are you making a critical failure, or is it just normal failure?
Why not? Why not? I don't care.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep
I
rolling
don't-
zeros.
I got nothing for this, so Smoke, take 1 bashing damage as the thinking process hurts too much. But you can take a beat for that. Man, you're not having very good luck tonight. Abel, how
I
many
have
hits
one
you get?
experience, though.
2.
So Abel got 2. Perun, how many did you get?
2.
Both got 2 hits? Okay, that's actually enough. The Sons of David got their start in Rome. They have been known to be very religious, and in the past, they actually were known for helping the Spanish Inquisition burn people alive. But in the newer eras, they've decided that that was kind of a bad thing and to kind of disassociate themselves with a lot of that. They have now almost formed their own little hunting group. They are prominent in mostly Arizona and a little bit in Maine, with a very, very, very small group in northern Texas. And they're not very large compared to a lot of the hunter groups. They're very small. And they haven't really been on anyone's radar, at least as far as you know. He kind of looks up, and after you guys kind of introduce yourselves, he says, "Well, welcome. You may sit and pray and do whatever you wish. We do not have a lot of food or water to offer at the moment. We are still setting up as to speak, but it is nice to see those of like-minded will who will help shield this world from the shadows and the darkness that seeks to overcome it."
Nods at this, and he goes, well, or how will he say this? Thank you, Father, but I'm afraid we are mainly here on business terms right now.
Of course. What is it you wish to discuss, my son?
Well, as you know, probably have known from your conversation with Mr. X, we are simply seeking reassurances, an alliance of sorts with the other hunter groups here. The Abbey
Indeed.
has already, for the most
Yes.
part, agreed to at least keep calm.
Indeed, we spoke with the Abbey a bit earlier. Many young children truly misguided. However, their hand is true, and they do share the common belief that we must push back the shadow. I think that our 3 groups will be able to work with each other more than hastily. If the other hunter groups come into the city, then they will hopefully be guided to the light as well. If not, then, well, sometimes conflict is inevitable.
Nods before he'll say, so what, how should I put this? Indeed, hopefully nothing untoward happens. Last thing we need is war between the hunters. I believe we already have enough going on, acting as a breachhead breachhead against the darkness.
Indeed, my son. That is the last thing we need to be doing as organizations. We must push back the Black Sun and make it whole once again.
For that,
Yes.
we would, if it is not too pretentious, we would like to know where exactly you are planning on operating.
We were planning on operating near some of the harbor districts. A lot of the shipments that come in are with poison and blood and evil things that come in the containers. We will not say no to your aid, but that is the territory that we wish to start on.
Very well. Just if you plan on stretching out past that territory, or should things arise that seem to affect the rest of the city, please, we would very much appreciate that if you would alert us.
Very well, my son. We shall do so. Like I said, we are all one in this endeavor.
All right. He'll nod.
We must push back the corruption that has stated our earth. And he holds out a necklace, and it has a Christian cross, a symbol for Thor's hammer, and a couple other symbols you don't recognize. And he holds it out to you, and he holds up his hand in kind of a kind of blessing motion. And he does, cross bless motion on you. And he says, May every fortune be in your favor, and may the darkness not consume you. And Creed, for the rest of the week, you get a +1 dice to presence checks.
Woo! Thank you.
And he will bless all of you with this. So every person for the rest of the week, just for this week, for basically the next session, you get a +1 to all presence checks.
Oh God!
Yay.
Oh God! Do you know what this means?
You can flirt better.
Uh-huh.
No, it means Smoke has 2 dots in presence.
Fuck.
Uh,
I can now
Yes.
wink.
he comes up to you. He looks up at you. He says, "Dear my son, you have much pain in your soul. What has happened to you? The others appear at least mostly whole, but you seem to be broken. What happened?"
Abel's just kind of quiet as he looks at the man. Then he just sort of looks at the ground and says, I don't know.
You are one of the Grand Celestial's children. You can speak to me, my son. It
No.
seems that you have suffered much.
Well, no, that's exactly it. I don't know.
Ah, your mind has been corrupted by the dark seed. Let me see if I can aid you momentarily, even for a moment. And he puts one hand on your right ear, one hand on your left ear, and he kind of just does that meditation thing. And Abel, with the dot of presence, what is your presence?
2.
Okay, so he will be adding this to his dice. I'll roll off screen here. 5 hits, that's enough. All right, so Abel, you start to feel kind of relaxed and warm. Almost like you're being enveloped into like a presence, and it feels like you're slipping into a nice warm bath. And you feel yourself kind of lighten. And you feel that kind of niching pain in the back of your head kind of slowly start to fade. And you have another memory come back to you. It's a memory of you and another child playing together in some sort of park. You're playing with sticks and you're doing a little fighting kind of thing. He looks very similar to you, except not quite. You're kind of playing around. You're dressed in normal, what look like maybe school clothes or whatever, just shorts and a shirt, kind of running around a field, fighting with one another. And then your memory cuts short just as something grabs you from behind and the memory cuts.
Abel comes to with like a gasp.
Oh my. Your mind has truly been taken. You must slowly heal, my son. Come to me if you have any questions or you wish to do more sessions. I can perhaps rebuild some of that lost memory. I can use the faith of the Grand Celestials to help you.
I see. What was that at the end?
I don't know, but it seems you have had much hardship early on in your life. Your body was traumatized, as was your mind. Take care, my son. And any of you, come back if you require aid. There is little I can provide, but the aid that I can, I will. If you need information or an ally against the darkness, I will be a light to help guide you.
Oh, thank you. Though there was one thing.
Sweet.
He like Abel starts reaching into his jacket, pulls out that same small black book.
Takes it and kind of reads through it. What's in the book?
It starts out very much like the Bible. It's all handwritten, obviously. It starts very much like the Bible, like Genesis, all that good stuff. But it's different in some parts. Oh, come on.
In other words, it's somewhat different. Not only that, there's odd symbols that kind of appear here and there. Also, the writing can sometimes, as he's looking through the book, Abel doesn't remember this, but some of the writing is forwards, and then some of the writing is literally written backwards.
Yep. And some of it is like in a language that's like not even able to show what it is.
Yeah, and then even some of it, also unbeknownst to Abel's memory, some of it is literally like writing in a circle. And he kind of starts looking at it. And he says, "My son, may I translate and study this for a while, and I could get this back to you and see if it means anything. I recognize some of these symbols. This may be important."
Oh, well, yes, I did bring it here because I thought you might know something.
I do. I will need time to break it down, but I think there is something I can give you from this.
That would be of great help. I had more. A lot of writing up on walls, but
Indeed.
it's gone.
Bring all you can to me, and we will discuss what we can. I will break this down as soon as I can. Talk with me in the future. You are always welcome here. All of you.
Thank you. Father, is it?
You can just call me whatever you wish. There are many who call me Father. That is a title.
I see. Oh, thank you.
Of course. All of you, walk safely in the light and mind the shadow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Like, okay, that's
All right.
weird.
You guys go. And when you leave the cathedral, that warm kind of feeling just kind of tends to go a little bit away, but you still have the +1 presence for the next few sessions.
I'm gonna touch the door.
You touch the door, the warm feeling comes back.
Okay, that's weird.
You also
If I-
notice that the cathedral was very old-fashioned, and it was a non-vented cathedral, like for those of you who have been in one. And it was still very warm in there, even though it was very cold outside.
unusual. And if I psychometry the door, just curious about this whole thing.
You want to go ahead and get the doors in motion?
Sure. I believe I need a roll for that.
All right,
It's
back.
called. I'm
So,
trying.
yeah, the guy was talking to Abel, and he said, as you guys all leave, walk in the light and walk safely in the light and mind the shadows. You are all always welcome here.
All right.
Yep. And I'm touching a door, asking it questions.
So, Havik, the door is riddled with happiness, sadness, piety. It's a very warm feeling, almost on overload. But there's a very subtle hint of pain. There's a very subtle hint of pain when you touch the door as well.
Yeah. Gonna assume that's some kind of self-flagellation.
Perhaps.
All right. Got what I wanted from the door.
All right. So you all head back to Section 9, I take it?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Spence, this is about the time you're arriving there. And you are guided into a waiting room. And you see a man in a brown suit and almost Men in Black kind of look come in and sit down at one of the tables with you.
I put my hand out and say hi.
He'll shake it.
Were you expecting?
Hello. Yes, I am the associate known as Mr. X to the ones you met at the college.
Is it just the letter X or is it X?
It's just a code name for safety purposes.
Oh, yeah. Spence is my.
Now let's dispense with formalities at the moment. I know that you have been clarified as being a very good hunter.
Yes. Yeah. Among the best.
Well, how would you like to hunt bigger game?
I've really only gone as large as moose. But I'm open to whatever you suggest. Look, I'm a little desperate. Frankly. I was hoping to make it to Portland. I heard that there was some opportunities in logging, mining.
There will be much opportunity for payment and jobs here, believe me. Tell me, what is the strangest thing that you've ever seen in your life?
There's definitely been some. Well, I do live in the mountains. There's stories of men that are almost like animals. And sometimes I see people just disappear. I don't like to tell people this, but sometimes I can, if I stare in the mirror long enough, I can choose to live. Creeps me out.
That is because you are not a normal human.
I've been told that my whole life, but now I'm starting to believe it.
You are what is called a psychic vampire. You steal the psychic essence from other people to feed yourself because your own psychic essence breaks down over time.
That makes a lot of sense. Sometimes when I'm around people, I get chills. And I feel warm myself. I have
Indeed.
something on that I don't understand, sir. I don't mean to. But there's something.
Then perhaps you should join us here at Section 9. We can help you to control and learn to use your power. And we can pay you to do tasks and go out hunting. You see, we hunt the creatures of the night, the things that try to break humanity. We can also pay you very handsomely and help you with your problems. This is a win-win situation for you.
Like I said, sir, I don't have a lot of options, and I certainly appreciate you. But you said I'm one of them psychic vampires. Am I not one of those creatures in that?
Not quite. The creatures that we hunt are savage beasts that have lost their humanity. Creatures that no longer care about who or what they hurt. It is our job to push them back.
I do have some morals, sir. I have a lot. I'm a Christian girl.
Indeed. Do you believe in the art of self-defense?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, on the mountains, we didn't have much choice. It was rare.
Then I assure you, your ideals will not be broken here.
As long as it ain't against the Bible, and even then, I'm somewhat flexible if the situation calls for it.
Hold on, I need to make an arete roll.
For me, I'm pretty sure mine's 9.
Spence, would you roll me 1 dice, please?
D10.
Yep. Only it's a chance dice, so only a 10 hits. Or I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, it's 8, 9, or 10. Did you get an 8, 9, or 10? You got 9? Okay. That is not enough. But at first, you kind of feel, Spence, like your mind is getting invaded by something, but then you immediately forget about it, and you feel good. You feel like Mr. X is probably the best path to take.
Sir, I very much appreciate you giving me this opportunity. I want you to know I'm not.
Of course.
There's been times in my life where I failed, but I'll always do my best. I'll always do my best.
Of course. Then perhaps we should start your training as soon as possible then.
I would very, very much.
Spence, since you have joined Section 9, you'll get some stuff here. By the way, for everyone who is a part of Section 9, I forgot to add this. Everyone has contact Section 9-1 now for joining it. I think I gave that to you guys. If I didn't, I apologize. You guys have 1 resource dot you can spend from Section 9, and only 1. Unless you have more status, which Creed, we already talked about what you get. We have Spence, your knowledge in occult, is it 3 already?
It is 3.
Okay, you're good. Your resources goes up by 1 dot since you were really low. And if you guys like, resources goes up by 1 dot.
Section 9.
Section 9 contacts. So I've got one thing for you guys here. If you guys still want to roleplay with each other a little bit, you guys can go to one of the training rooms and kind of do stuff, or one of the talk rooms and do things. If not, we'll go ahead and end that session for now.
No, that's fine. I should be getting ready for work anyway.
Sure thing. Okay. So you guys all followed what you were doing. You guys accomplished pretty much most of your goals. Everyone gets a beat.
Nice.
All right.
I'll put it on top of the 2 I got already.
Sweet.
Uh,
Thank you,
It's so
thank you,
bad.
players for playing. Thank you, watchers for watching. This has been another San Francisco